by our very own Nikhil Butte.
By the dawn's early light.
Welcome to Sylvan Lake, the Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Without further delay, Gulls baseball fan, let's welcome the first ever coach in our history, Jason Chatwood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sylvan Lake Gulls!
The flock flies back to the lake as the Lake boys return home after a 7-game road swing, including 1 in Brooks and then 6 all the way east out in Saskatchewan, where things didn't go quite as planned as the Gulls pick up the 1 win in those 6 games in Saskatchewan, but return home to hopefully turn a different page and a better corner here at Gulls Field when they welcome the Moose Jaw Miller Express for the very first time this season. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you watching FloCollege, the Gulls broadcast with Jim Claggett, myself, Cale Clark, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. .ca. And yes, Jim, the Sylvan Lake Gulls obviously looking just to kind of switch the script a little bit as things have just not been going their way so far this season.
Yeah, talking to some of the guys as it came in, I said, so that road trips are usually something that binds the team. I said, what did this one do? And they said, well, we got closer, but we're still looking to find our identity. That's what one of the guys said. And I believe them. There's talent out there. They just have to make it work together. And they're third spot, 10 and 11, 1 game under 500, third spot in the West. Not the end of the world. The sun will come up tomorrow.
4-6 considered in their last 10 is the record in the last 10 games. You also take a look at the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Last time they played at home, they did have a 9-3 win over the Brooks Bombers, which was 10 days ago today. So that's something to be maybe positive about and said, but also some other positive changes. There's been some chatter about new players coming back and coming into this lineup. Maybe you can talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know any of the new guys coming back, although I do know one new guy that's not a new guy that's coming back, and you might know him too. His name is Ty Boudreau, and we'll get to him later. There's our starting pitcher tonight, Kai Rempel, who stepped in. Dylan Mittner apparently had something wrong with his eye.
Okay.
And so Kai Rempel says, hey, I'll take the ball and give me the ball. Let's go. And he's ready to go, this young man from Calgary.
Kai, like you mentioned, not technically considered to be the starter here tonight, was not how they drew it up, but he comes in as a last-minute relief starter, if you will. And it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back, because last time he had a game, it was against the Brooks Bombers, and he didn't have the greatest ninth inning. But he will face some familiar faces in this batting order as you take a look at Thomas Soto, the leadoff hitter. He's a returnee for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. as is a couple other players in this lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Gulls handle the Moose Jaw Miller Express, a team that also has kind of been getting off to a little bit of a slower start than they're normally used to. This is a team that's used to being leading in the Eastern Division, now finding themselves halfway down the standings in that third place spot, trying to kind of battle Regina Red Sox in that second place spot in the Eastern Division. So should be interesting to see what tonight's game brings us this time around as we are about to get underway.
Well, I know something for sure. Moose Jaw is on a 2-game losing streak. The Gulls are on a 3-game losing streak. One of those streaks is going to end tonight.
That's true.
I guarantee you that. And if it doesn't, we've had some kind of really bad weather that canceled the game.
Then you jinxed it.
I'll take the blame for it. And we are underway. First pitch from Kai Rempel is in for a strike. 93 miles an hour. I know he has said he's working on his velocity. He's working on the movement on his other pitches, and he just wants to throw the ball. Well, he's thrown it twice, and both times it's been in the 90s, and both times it's been a strike. So.
And as you were mentioning, Jim, Kai Rempel is kind of limited to how many innings he can throw, so we can definitely expect that this starter isn't going to go very far into the game, as I would expect some warm-up happening in the bullpen pretty early on.
Now, I'm not sure. Home plate umpire Rob Allen is questioning about something. I'm not sure if it was the lights or...
I think it's the scoreboard. Now the scoreboard just caught up there
to
0-2 in 6 pitches. I don't know if he threw 6 pitches. I'm pretty sure he only threw 2.
He's only had thrown 2, yeah.
So
Somebody
they're just having some scoreboard technical difficulties, I think, is maybe what Rob Allen was pointing towards.
And Rob Allen is our home plate umpire. He's the crew chief. Clayton Wandler over at first base, and Levi Wagner is down the left field line. 1-2 the count on the leadoff hitter, Thomas Soto. As you mentioned, one of the returnees on this Moose Jaw Miller Express team. I'm going to say Warriors at least 3 times tonight.
Yeah, with Moose Jaw WHL hockey team getting mixed up. They came in on the Warriors bus, so fair enough.
So I guarantee.
Don't blame you.
Well, thank you.
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. And the count now full on Thomas Soto.
Well, this is just what Soto does best. I mean, he can get down 0-2, but he can be patient, and he doesn't let anything phase him. He's got a 3. He's doing really good at the bat so far. 375 on the summer already. And he gets on base as a leadoff hitter does. And after being up 0-2 for Kai Rempel, he throws 4 straight balls.
And we can give Kai a little bit of a break because we're not sure how long it was before he knew he was getting in the start. And pitchers do have a routine.
They do, yeah.
And if you throw a wrench into that routine, it can throw them off a little bit. So we'll give him a little break. But William Edwards steps in to face Kai Rempel, and he comes inside with that and misses for ball 1. William Edwards, another one of the returnees, and he is also hitting quite well, 368 on the year. Plus, when he gets on base, he steals. He's got 10 stolen bases this year. So this could be hard to double up these two because they both can run. See, now there's one of the things one of the Gulls was telling me about this road trip is that there was too many errors, mental and physical errors.
Yeah.
And they have to get that out of their game because that's a perfect example. A throw down to first by Cam McLeod, and all of a sudden Thomas Soto is in scoring position over at third base.
Yeah, if you're going to make that throw, you have to be confident and you have to really hit the mark. You miss, and like you mentioned, it can hurt you quickly, and that was a 180 feet advance for Thomas Soto, now in a really good scoring position with 0 away.
And that's fouled back by William Edwards. 1-2 the count. This is where the pitcher, well, he was hoping for a double play. Now he can't. So now it's infield fly, strikeout, and then don't worry about the third guy later. And that's fouled off against the screen.
Well, and again, too, with Kai Rempel, you know, he's back up in the count. You got to take advantage of while you're up in the count to really get this batter out and get a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum shifted in the right direction for this Gulls defense.
A 1-2 pitch to Edwards is inside. As Rempel's just missing with that off-speed pitch. He's trying to catch that inside corner. And evens the count at 2-2. Thomas Soto, the base runner over at third. We are just underway. Runner on third, nobody out. And that's going to score a run as that is dropped into right field and misplayed by the right fielder, Bryce Hampton. And that puts the Miller Express up by 1 right away in this game.
Yeah, I think the wind helped with that ball just kind of sail away from Bryce Hampton. You know, there's a chance there. I thought he had a play on it. I thought that maybe there's a diving play he could make, but he decided to stay on his feet and, yeah, as you mentioned, kind of overran the ball and then had to hustle back to the fence to grab it. So Moose Jaw easily gets 1 run in, and Edwards in scoring position over at second.
And this brings up a veteran of the WCBL and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. That's Austin Gurney. And he fouls this out of play.
Campbell River, BC native, going to Pikeville College.
No home runs on the year, but he's got 25 RBIs.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially when you got a guy in scoring position to make it number 26.
So he gets the bat on the ball for sure. He's hitting .415. No wonder they have him batting third. Get the 2 speedsters up in front of him on base, and then he just, well, I just put it somewhere and they'll score.
That's a lethal combination.
1-1 the count on Gurney. William Edwards, the base runner, over at second base. And he could be a threat to steal third. As Rempel missing outside, 2-1. Now, I'm not sure how long they're going to give Kai Rempel. I mean, he did get the last-minute notice, and then he warmed up as best as he could. But maybe they won't throw him more than 3 innings. I don't know.
I can't see it being a lot.
This is foul territory down the third baseline, and that is Brooks Bachman getting his glove on it to record the first out.
That was a much-needed catch for the Gulls defense, and just retiring that first out, settling things down a little bit, trying to limit the damage just to 1 run with a runner in scoring position already at second. But as we take a look at this defense from the Sylvan Lake Gulls, not only do we see Bachman over at third, but Matty Fung out in left field tonight. Good to see him get back into the lineup. Noah Connings at center, where he usually goes to work, and then Bryce Hampton filling into that right field spot.
This is the third baseman, Eduardo Sainz. He takes that first pitch off speed for a ball.
Let's take a look at the infield. Joining Bachman infield, we got Rowan O'Connor at short, Jaden Flores at second, Bryce Turner at first, and then Cam McLeod in behind the plate, catching the balls and strikes thrown by Kai Rempel currently.
And Rempel with the fastball. He's not missing with the fastball. He's missing with the off-speed pitch. And I guess if he gets both of those going, then he'll be tough on the mound. And yeah, count now 1-1 on Eduardo Sainz.
And it's interesting to see him throw that off-speed pitch. I think the reason why he wants to throw a lot of that off-speed is because it's favoring his curveball right now with the wind coming in from the east to west. You see a lot of his breaking balls coming in from that east to west location. So I'm wondering if he's trying to use the wind a little bit to help, add a little bit more spin on the ball and a little bit more movement.
Good, quite possible. These guys are pretty smart when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
They know way more than we do. We found that out easily in the first
take much.
5 minutes with one of the pitchers up here. 1-2 the count on Sainz. And there's that pitch. He's just trying to get that inside corner, and he just can't seem to find it.
Can't quite bring it in enough. But you can just tell from the mesh of the screen back here that, the wind is moving in from the east to the west. Maybe a little bit from the south as well.
It's everywhere. And a nice pitch there by Kai Rempel to get the strikeout for the second out. He has signs swinging at air right there. Just ties him up inside.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. Up high and inside.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Jackson Yeager. He's got a little bit of power. 4 home runs, 24 RBIs on the season. And first pitch swinging. And he got a Kai Rempel special right down the middle. Rempel keeping a close eye on Edwards there. And comes back with the same pitch, 90 miles an hour, to go up 0-2. So
The fastball's working for him.
it is. And I'm sure Cam McLeod has made note on that, saying, okay, when I need a strike, I know where I'm going to. Number 1's going down. And the off-speed pitch, perfectly played by Kai Rempel as he strikes out the last 2 batters to get the Gulls out of a jam here in the first inning. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. The Gulls are coming to bat.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Well, there's the pitcher for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, number 10, Cam Sparrowhawk, getting his first look at what Gulls Field looks like here in Sylvan Lake. And I can tell you, Jim, I talked to a couple of these Express players, one in particular in the stairwell, and he said, beautiful baseball field and baseball facilities. So
I can't argue. Leading things off is the center fielder, Noah Connings. And he takes the first pitch for a strike. 1-0, Moose Jaw leading here. We're in the bottom of the first. And Connings hits this deep to center field.
That's going.
And that is well hit, but tracked down by the center fielder, William Edwards. And you can see why this guy has some stolen bases on the year. He's got some wheels out there, and center fielder, of course, he's got to cover it all. So.
Well, and it doesn't get any easier for this defense as Brooks Bachman, Bryce Turner, the 2 next batters in line. We know Brock Tiarina can really hit a bomb. And then you got the last batter there in the order at number 9, Matty Fung. And you know what? Here's a guy that I'm really excited to see this week because families in attendance all the way up from California, Foster City, and he's been a little bit on the schneid. He's got to get the monkey off the back, and what better time to do it, Jim, than when your parents are both visiting here at Gulls Field this week. So I'm expecting to see some pretty good things from him this week.
Do you think Coach Dad Rob had a little chat with his son and said, maybe gave him some short advice?
You just got to wonder if, maybe it just helps calm him down a little bit, right? When a player's like that going through, a little bit of funk, you lose a little bit of your confidence. It's such a mental game. We heard it many, many times from so many players in this league. This is a mental sport. It's a mental game, as is other sports. But when it's not going for you, it's not going for you. So I think for him, a reset from Dad could have been exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah. 0-2 the count on Bachman, and he goes down swinging. And the catcher, Andrew Nieves, sorry. I'm not sure what he thought, but he threw the ball over to the third baseman and headed for his dugout. Here we go.
Thought that was 3 outs already.
Like,
Lost track of counting.
So the great Yogi Berra once said about baseball is 90% mental. The other half is physical. Yogi was math challenged.
Clearly.
Among other things.
Yeah, I was like trying to put that in my head of making sense of that.
Yeah, although he could count how many World Series his Yankees
This is going to land, I think, Jim.
In the gap. And that's a well-hit ball by Bryce Turner and a stand-up double. To keep the inning alive for the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
Well, here's a mental note to take if you're the Gulls or even Moose Jaw Miller Express. Right center field, that ball is just going to carry and carry and carry. The wind really helping push that towards the right field. And that really got hung up in the air. In fact, the first catch that William Edwards had to make tonight was a tricky one. With that wind just keep pushing it away further and further away from him. He had to really get on his horse and somehow find a way to get there in time, and he did. But that's a good spot to hit it. If you're a left-handed batter like Brock Tiarina is, this is your powerhouse right now. You're licking your chops.
Yeah.
If you can turn on this ball, it's probably gone if you make good contact on it.
I asked him before the game, I said, how you feeling? Good. Man, a few words,
Yeah.
Brock Tiarina.
There you go.
And then I also talked with Jaden Flores, who's kind of quietly upped his batting average and getting some RBIs and
Home runs even. Yeah.
stolen bases, and yeah, he's doing everything now. That misses inside. The count 2-1 on the designated hitter tonight for your Sylvan Lake Gulls, Brock Tiarina.
Well, I think with what happened with Flores, what really helped his confidence is probably the Brooks field and getting a couple home runs in a single game.
And they're going to play on over at second, and Hampton gets back, I should say. Turner, I should say. I got my braces mixed up.
A couple Bryces, Brooks, there's a Brock. There's a lot of bees in this lineup.
Killer bees.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch here, and Tiarina right back up the middle, and that's going to tie this game. As the Gulls bring the crowd to life as they tied up here in the bottom half of the first inning. Brock Tiarina with the RBI single to center field.
Yeah, right back where it came from. Hard one for Sparrowhawk to field, and of course that's going to make a nice easy stand-up RBI for Brock Tiarina and Bryce Turner crossing the plate.
This will bring up Jaden Flores, as we mentioned, starting to find his game. He's playing second base tonight for the Gulls.
Yeah, Flores now hitting .260 this summer. 50 at-bat appearances heading into this. 13 RBIs and 3 home runs on the year in a Gulls uniform, and I don't believe one of those home runs has been at Gulls Field just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to check my memory banks, and they've checked out. I don't have the combination to that vault.
Well, I know 2 for sure were in Brooks. The other one, I don't believe it was here at Gulls Field. Could be wrong, though.
I thought he did put one over the left field wall.
Okay, he might have
here,
yeah.
but we'll have to ask him. He's a very
He
quiet
would know.
young man.
Yeah, he would know.
Yeah, he would. He should. 2-0 the count on Flores. Procty Arena, the base runner over at first. He with the single to tie things up here. 1-1 in the bottom of the first between the Gulls and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. See, if I just keep saying Moose Jaw Miller Express, I won't say the other thing. That's the plan. Plan and execution.
Fair enough, yeah.
They very rarely come together, but 2-1 pitch misses outside, 3-1. Cam McLeod, the catcher, is the batter on deck.
So it's confirmed that the last win the Gulls had, which was in Weyburn, that was when Flores had his 3rd home run.
Okay, there you go. I stand corrected. And
I
I'm
had to check
actually
for my
standing.
own knowledge, to be honest with you.
And this is lifted out into right field. And it's drifting to
Yeah.
right field, but Austin Gurney tracks it down in the corner and brings the inning to a close. No run, or 1-1, a couple of hits. 1-1 after 1 complete. Up at Gallo Park, Jim Claggett, Cale Clark here. 1-1 between the Gulls and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Bottom of the second inning. Cam McLeod, Bryce Hampton, and Rowan O'Connor, the three batters scheduled to face the Moose Jaw pitcher, Cam Sparrowhawk, who throws the first pitch here on the top of the bottom of the second as a strike. Moose Jaw scoring in their top half of the first, and then the Gulls coming back and knotting things up on an RBI single by Brock Tiarina. And that misses outside. 2-1 the count. Both these teams kind of in a funk, to use Cale's word, in their respective divisions. I think Moose Jaw is 11-10, and the Gulls are 10-11. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. And this is well hit, but headed towards the bullpen, and safely out of play by Cam McLeod, who has shown that he does have some power in that bat of his. We've seen him launch one over the fence before, so. 2-2 the count on the Gulls catcher as he leads things off here in the bottom of the second in a 1-1 tie. And he sends this one foul to the other bullpen, or almost near our truck where Calvin
Yeah,
sits.
that wind really has a lot of power tonight, doesn't it? I mean, you just see that ball get up in the air and it really drifts off.
I'm so used to the wind out here now. I don't even notice it
Yeah,
anymore.
fair enough.
And this is in foul territory, and the catcher,
Oh, wow, good catch.
Nieves, hustles over there and makes the grab to get his fellow catcher out.
Andrew Nieves, really had to run on that ball again because the wind, I don't know, I sound like a broken record when I say it, but the wind really had an effect on that ball. Normally, if that was a calm day, I don't think he would have had to hustle as hard for it, but he got there in time, got the glove on it, got the first out.
There you go. Right fielder Bryce Hampton will step in to face Cam Sparrowhawk. And a little repair work for the catcher Nieves on his mask. We might have to go to the bullpen to get the backup mask.
Yeah, looks like it.
Unless they can do a real quick repair, but.
Well, in Bryce Hampton, you got one of the top batters so far of the Sylvan Lake Gulls roster this year. Coming to the plate, he's one of the amongst the top leaders in batting average, and 306 already on the year in the 49 at bats he's had, with only 6 RBIs though. So he's not a guy that maybe necessarily drives in runs, gets over the fence, but he gets on base.
And that's a good thing.
And that's a good thing.
Swing and a miss there. 0-1 the count on Hampton.
If you remember the Oakland A's, that was the one thing that they looked at, was their on-base percentage.
Moneyball.
Yeah, Moneyball, yeah.
And it worked for them.
I actually just watched that movie for not the first time, but first time in a while. Just the other day, actually.
There you go.
I think I was getting tired. I was missing baseball here in Sylvan Lake while the boys were on the road. I had to get my baseball fix and watch a little bit of Moneyball. And yeah, that's a heck of a movie.
Is that your go-to baseball movie?
It's one of my tops. Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my top baseball movies for sure. That and The Rookie. I really get into The Rookie.
Who's in that one?
Oh, I can't think of his name. Of course, I knew you were going to ask me.
Is that, what the heck's it?
You're going to know the name as soon as I say it. It's Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid,
Yeah.
yes. I was just going to say Dennis Quaid. I think he's an older guy that comes back and pitches.
That is the exact Jim Morris, yeah.
Okay. 1-2 the count on Bryce Hampton.
Yeah, the true story based on.
Oh, that got him right in the 5.
Ouch.
And hit by a pitch there. Bryce Hampton will take the walk down to first base. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Rowan O'Connor.
Yeah, right on the 5. You saw it in the
Ouch.
Hearthstone Property Management replay, and that stung.
Here's the shortstop, number 16, Rowan O'Connor.
And throw over to first there to keep Hampton close by Sparrowhawk. One down here in the bottom of the second inning. 1-1 between the Gulls and Moose Jaw. On a pretty nice evening, as long as the weather holds up, and Hampton takes off for second, and I believe he's in there.
Oh yeah, he's had at least a step ahead of the play, and really good slide into second as you take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay. And yeah, nice slide from Hampton, gets there safely. So now the Gulls, for the second time of the night, are in scoring position.
So I think my favorite, I like Bull Durham. In fact, anything that Costner does, Field of Dreams,
Yeah, Field of Dreams is
Love
a
of the
good one.
Game.
Yeah.
You know, those three are really good. Major League is hilarious, okay? But the one that gets me, the book and the movie, The Natural.
Oh, okay. Who's in that one?
That's Robert Redford.
Okay, yeah.
And he comes back, and there was a lot of mystery surrounding the book and the movie about how he actually, well, I won't say. But anyway, because in case anybody's never seen the movie, I don't want to spoil it for them. Spoiler alert, no, I'm not even going to tell you. But it's just one of those movies where the actual baseball sequences looked like they were baseball players. And Robert Redford looked like he could play the game.
Yeah.
So, and Robert Duvall was this nosy reporter, and he was really good in that area too. So, full count now on Rowan O'Connor. Base runner over at second is Bryce Hampton. One down in the bottom half of the second. Gulls looking to take the lead over the Miller Express.
Well, then of course you got 42 as well.
Oh well, that's a pretty good story.
That's a great story as well.
Yeah. And O'Connor sends this to deep left field, but not deep enough, as Tanner DeGrazia has to take a few steps back. That was well hit, but right into that wind that you have mentioned for the second out.
Yeah, he definitely got great contact on that. Got a lot of the barrel on that one. Just unfortunately for him, the wind caught it up, and left fielder Tanner DeGrazia did not have to move very far. So Matty Fung, here's a player, as I was mentioning back earlier on in the game, player I'm really excited to see this week. Mom and Dad are in attendance from Foster City, California, and he leads things off with a base hit, and why not, an RBI as well. The Gulls take their first lead of the ball game.
Well, I guess that's all that Matty needed, was his dad and his mom to come and sit in the stands and keep an eye on him. That's well hit right up the middle.
Absolutely.
First pitch swinging, Matty Fung. He sees his pitch and he delivers. Bryce Hampton from second base to give the Gulls that 2-1 lead, and we'll go to the top of the order. Noah Connings, who flew out to deep right center to lead the game off.
Nothing like feeling you're at home.
Yeah.
When Mom and Dad are here, you're back at Gulls Field. Yeah, that was just a great base hit.
Oh, yeah. Prototypical Matty Fung. Right off, first pitch, right down center. Oh. He was headed towards
close.
second.
Wow, and he even looks down at himself like he knew it too, and he's glad he got back in time. And the throw was perfectly timed. I mean, Sparrowhawk kind of had that thrown over at first, right as Matty was making one more step away to second. This time he's ready for it.
Well, he's got his attention now, that's for sure. If he didn't have it before, he's certainly got it now. 0-1 the count on Noah Connings. And he fouls that back to even the count at 1-1.
Connings really had a good hit back in that first inning too. Just carried it all the way to center field, and I mean, it was like I mentioned, William Edwards had to make a really good play on it to get underneath of it and get the catch. Otherwise, Connings himself might have a base hit right now.
I think Matty might be going. No. A little dribbler down first baseline. And a good run there by Noah Connings, a brilliant slide. As he saw where that ball was going and he knew the first baseman was going to make the play on it. And so he takes it just wide enough to still be in the running lane there, as you see on the replay here.
Yeah, and this is at an awkward distance. It's right in between the pitcher and the first baseman. Now, I think if you're the first baseman and Jackson Yeager, you got to let the pitcher take that one. And it's just so hard to justify what that ball's doing off the bat with the spin and everything like that. How fast is it going to make its way down the first base line? And he took a gamble, and unfortunately for Yeager, it didn't work out for him.
Brooks Bachman steps in with 2 out here in the bottom of the second. Base runners on first and second. Bachman with a strikeout in his only at bat in the first inning. Yeah, you got to make that judgment call, and you got to make it right away.
Yeah.
You either yell at the pitcher, you're getting it, I'm not leaving the bag, or you go cover first, I'm going to go get the ball. Probably easier for the pitcher to get the ball on that one.
That's what I think too. But again, you're also running into a very speedy base runner, Noah Connings. So, you know, that's just tough. I mean, even if the pitcher could get there first, would he have even been able to make the play to first in time? I don't know.
That gets away from Davis. So everybody moves up 90 feet.
Yeah. I honestly think that ball just was placed perfectly. That it was kind of right in the middle of no man's land.
Yeah. The Bermuda Triangle.
Exactly.
I think that's what Big Vest called it.
That's what Big Vest called it, yeah.
Veselinovic. Or Linovic.
Veselinovic.
Okay, there you go.
I think we're still trying to figure it
well,
out.
we're always going to, and he laughs at that. He just says, you guys just keep trying.
Veselinovic, yeah. Veselinovic.
So does Big Papa.
I've been practicing at home and I still can't get it. But I think it is Veselinovic.
Yeah, Papa Vest, he's probably sitting at home going, you guys, you'll probably get it right 3 years from now.
Yeah. Or we might never get it right.
Or
we might just have to die accepting that, the fate.
2-2 the count on Bachman. And he sends this into shallow right field as Austin Gurney with an easy play. So the Gulls strand 2 base runners, but they do take the lead. And that's how they got the lead, was that Matty Fung hit. There is your starter tonight who didn't think he was starting tonight. Kai Rempel on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and he had to be pressed into duty after the starter Dylan Mittner had an issue with his eye. Not sure which one, but I don't think it matters. You want your pitcher to have both eyes. So Kai Rempel was pressed into duty, as I mentioned, and he has done quite well in his 2 innings of work. 1 run on 1 hit, and he's got 4 strikeouts. And he starts things off here with the bottom of the order, the second baseman, Ben Wallachek. And he's already up 0-2. And that's the thing that Kai Rempel has been doing tonight in his 2 innings of work, is getting ahead of the hitters, which any pitcher that has been up here has told us that is exactly what you want to do. You want to get ahead of this guy and then just keep filling the strike zone. Not sure where that missed, but it did.
Or what they'll do is they'll throw something completely unnecessary and wild on the 0-2 pitch to try to catch the batter swinging.
That too.
Get him chasing a little bit.
And that's fouled off. The count remains 1-2. So with Kai Rempel, at the beginning of the season, he said he was about a 40 inning pitch count, or inning count, I should say. And I'm not sure where he's at right now, but this might cut into that. And he loves it. He just wants to pitch.
Yeah, I mean, he might get more of a full game this game than he ever will all season long, but that one. Drills number 13, and Ben Wallachek, second baseman for Moose Jaw Miller Express tonight.
That's not what you want to do when you're up 0-2 on the batter and
No.
then you plunk him like that. It's like he's been trying to get that inside pitch in the first 2 innings, and that was what he was trying to do there. And sometimes you just miss your spot and you don't miss the batter. And that's bunted foul by the leadoff hitter, Thomas Soto, who walked in the first inning and then came around and scored on an error, or got the third on the error to Cam McLeod. I'm not sure who they charged the error to on that one, because it did go to the first baseman,
I would think McLeod.
Bryce Turner, but
There's a little bit of a missed throw.
yeah.
But you definitely got the speedy bunch coming up here in the batting order as we get back to this top of the batting order for Moose Jaw. And you definitely know that Thomas Soto can run. So can William Edwards and Austin Gurney. Just the 1-2-3 punch.
This is going to be trouble. Nope, it lands foul. If that had landed fair, it probably would have
Tied the game.
tied this game
Yeah.
up. It was one of those fading away from the left fielder. The fence is the only thing saving it, and Matty Fung was probably counting on that. 0-2 the count on the leadoff hitter, the shortstop, Thomas Soto. Oh, and that misses high and outside, I guess.
You know, just the body language that Thomas Soto gave us there, I think he almost thought that was third strike.
The 1-2 pitch to Soto. He grounds this down. Could be a double play. O'Connor flips it over to Bachman. No. Oh, that's Jaden Flores, sorry, at second base. So they get the lead runner for the first out, but Soto beats out the throw over to first.
Just a little bit of a hesitation from Flores, I think, on that catch, and then the turn with the throw that allowed a speedy Thomas Soto to get to first. Those guys aren't going to be easy to turn a double play on, that's for sure.
No, and this guy won't be any easier. The guy at the plate, William Edwards. You know, it used to be if you wanted to turn a double play, you had to hope that there was a first baseman running and a catcher hitting. Now it doesn't matter because all these guys can run. 0-1 the count there on William Edwards. He hits us hard and underneath the glove of Brooks Bachman into left field. So Soto moves over to second, and Edwards has a base hit over at first base now, and that'll bring up the right fielder, the veteran Austin Gurney.
I think Bachman kind of rolled over his wrist funny on that play. When he went to dive, he kind of jammed his wrist into the turf as he's shaking off his hand right now, and you could tell the glove's still off, and now he's just kind of trying to regather himself. But he definitely was shaking that hand in a little bit of discomfort following the play, and he's still rolling it around a little bit, just trying to get it back to being ready. One away now, though.
And there's that outside corner with a left-handed batter up.
Yeah, he'll take that all day.
Yep. Gurney popped up to the third baseman, Bachman, in the first inning. And he sends this, and
Nice
Roar
catch.
O'Connor's going to have him an easy double play there. As a good catch there by Rowan O'Connor. And a heads-up play to get the base runner over at second. Thomas Soto. So no runs on one base hit. Nobody left on base, and one man left on base. Gulls coming to bat.
2-1 Gulls lead it here at Pagato Park in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, as the Moose Jaw Miller Express make their very first visit to Gulls Field. The Gulls starting their 9 games in 11 nights here at Gulls Field. It is crunch time, if you will, for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and that'll bring up Cam McLeod here at the bottom half of the 4th inning.
9 games. I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, well, joke's on you. You're here.
You're here. Ha ha.
Aha.
Yeah, fly out to center field by the leadoff hitter Cam McLeod as he sends this into center field, where I'm sure William Edwards grabs an awful lot of fly balls.
Seems like it. He's been busy already tonight. It's his 3rd catch he's had to make.
Yeah.
Out to center field.
Bryce Hampton got hit by a pitch and then stole second base, and then came around and scored on Matty Fung's single back in the 2nd inning. That's where we stand right now. 2-1, Gulls lead it. It's good to be back. I mean,
It is, yeah.
But you know, 9 out of 11.
Nothing like coming back and then just getting right busy down to work.
Here, pile. You know, that's like being an office worker and you had vacation for a week, and you come back to work and there's a
just got
stack of about
piles.
100 files on your desk,
Yep.
and say, "Yeah, welcome back."
Yep. That's pretty much.
I mean, it's not quite the same.
Yes.
I mean, all we're doing is we're talking baseball. I mean,
Get to watch baseball.
we get
Yeah,
to watch
tough
really
life.
good baseball and talk to really good players and see nice weather and appreciative fans. So, Jim, quit your whining.
Well, honestly, this is the furthest east a team will visit from Saskatchewan this year, other than Swift Current, I suppose.
That's well hit. He's got himself a base hit and a double here as he's trying to stretch it out and slides in safely to second base as Bryce Hampton with a 1-out double to left field, a no-doubter as well.
Yeah, he just lines this right down the line, and just well played, well hit ball.
Good throw, good strong throw by Tanner DeGrazia.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Rowan O'Connor steps in. He flied out to left field. Ball hung up in the breeze that's coming from left or center or right. It does whatever it wants.
But yeah, Moose Jaw plays here tonight, tomorrow night. Swift Current will wrap up the 6 straight nights in a row, the last 2 games of this home stretch. And then the boys will have a day off on the Monday before coming back and playing Canada Day evening games against Medicine Hat, who's
So we get a day off.
We do get a day off.
Yay. I shouldn't say anything. Every day's a day off for me.
Yeah.
So 1-1 the count on O'Connor as that's down low, and a good block there by Andrew Nieves.
But Medicine Hat is having themselves a pretty good season so far. 15-6, 2nd place in the Eastern Division.
15-6. You think, oh, you're in first? No, you're in second
Yeah.
because the Berries are what, 17-3.
Saskatoon Berries 17-3.
They
Yeah,
are they've done well. This is grounded down to third, and a good strong throw there by Eduardo Signs.
Signs, yeah.
Yes.
We'll go with that.
To get the 2nd out of the inning, but that moves Bryce Hampton over to third base with Matty Fung coming to the plate. First pitch swinging last time and drove in Bryce Hampton. So do we see a replay? Deja vu again?
This time Hampton just 90 feet closer to home plate after a really heads-up base running, by the way, after that play of seeing Rowan O'Connor getting thrown out at first. Hampton did a really good job to kind of wait out the play, and then he decided to head down all the way to third once he saw the throw go over to first.
Yep, good base running.
Yep, smart base running by him.
And that misses outside. That first pitch was outside, and you could see almost the disappointment in Matty's eye. That was going to swing at the first pitch.
And now he's up in the count 2-0, and you can tell he's waiting for it again. And that one catches just the outside corner with the off speed. 79-mile-per-hour curveball in there.
Cloud's getting a little darker now.
Yeah, it is.
Or I'm starting to lose my eyesight.
That's a good check swing by Matty Fung. He did not go around, so 3-1 the count. It's all Matty in the driver's seat right now. Looking for his second RBI of the night. Again, Mother Nature toying with you, Jim.
Oh, of course. Ooh, an off-speed pitch there gets Matty way out in front and on his back foot there. 76 miles an hour.
Even the crowd knew it. You,
Yeah.
you heard the gasp in the crowd. Ooh.
Full count on Matty Fung, 2 down. Base runner over at third. And that misses down low. So Matty draws the walk to keep the inning alive and flip over the order to the top. Noah Connings will come in to face Cam Sparrowhawk.
I mean, you just can see it in the demeanor of Matty Fung. Confidence right now. I mean, for a guy that's been struggling so far all summer long, and there's a demeanor about him right now, and he's feeling it. He's seeing a lot of good things right now.
Yeah, and sometimes
Great patience.
You need a game like this, and
this is huge for Matty Fung.
even for good players, sometimes they lose a little bit of their confidence. And
Absolutely.
something's not working right, and they're trying everything to fix it.
This game is very big for Matty Fung right now.
Two-1, Gulls lead it. Bottom of the fourth inning. Runners on the corners for Noah Connings, the center fielder. And the throw down to second. And Matty's trying to play the old game of I'll just decoy. And that's exactly what happened. As Matty Fung plays the game just perfectly as he stops. And they make the throw come in, and just not a high percentage play for Moose Jaw on that. They just, I don't know.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. Bryce Hampton made that a lot closer than it had to be. I think he hesitated. I don't know if he knew really what was happening. I don't think he quite caught on as quickly the draw weight from Matty Fung on that play, but he got there just in the nick of time. And it was a heads-up play by Matty Fung to do a little trick game here.
This could be trouble here.
And it will be.
It is. That bounces away from Austin Gurney, and Matty Fung is going to score from second. And that's a good throw, but too high as Noah Connings slides into second base and gets himself an RBI. And Matty Fung scoring all the way from second on that play. There's a nice, it just dropped, and it just kicks a little bit right on Austin Gurney, just enough. And then the good play by Nieves to try and nail Connings at second, but his throw is high. Connings is in second and safe, and Brooks Bachman steps in to face Sparrowhawk. The Gulls with a 4-1 lead now over the Moose Jaw Miller Express.
And this is all because Matty Fung with some smart, baseball play offensively. Not getting too excited with that 3-2 pitch, sees it go by him, takes the walk, and then huge heads-up base running by him to kind of get to second while also scoring a run with the trick play. And then next thing you know, Connings comes in, lands a base hit, and they get 2 runs just like that.
I wonder who gets the RBI on that. I guess nobody does.
Yeah. Because they have to be batted in.
That is correct. Well, it doesn't have to be batted in
Well,
if you
but
walk with the bases loaded. That's an
true.
RBI.
That's technically an RBI,
Yeah. But I know what you're saying.
But yeah, I don't know.
An RBI by delaying your slide to second base.
Yeah.
1-2 the count on the third baseman, Bachman. With 2 down here, base runner Connings over at second. That misses inside. The count even at 2-2 now.
I do guarantee you a man that would probably know the answer would be able to tell us exactly what that would be counted as, and that would be a man by the name of Mr. Rob Fung himself.
I bet
Matty's
you
dad.
he could. I bet you he could.
who's in the crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Not watching from home for the first time in a while, I'm sure, for him. He
That
watches
was
every broadcast of ours.
Does he?
Well, pretty sure he comes close to every broadcast. I know he's a big supporter of the Sylvan Lake Gulls and
Yeah.
loves watching.
Since day one.
Yeah, loves the game.
Full count now on Bachman. Trying to keep this inning alive as the Gulls already have 2 runs across. And it's good, maybe even 3 now. As Connings gets the wave around third. And Bachman with a RBI single. As the Gulls are putting together an inning here against Cam Sparrowhawk.
Yeah,
Well
that was
hit ball.
Really good hit. As Jackson Yeager just couldn't quite stop that and track it down, and just where that ball landed was right at the feet of Yeager in his full dive, and that's going to create a little meeting on the mound for Moose Jaw. After, you know, they had 2 away, no runs scored, and then the bats came alive and a little bit of trickery came alive as well. It kind of got things going.
Well, and speaking of trickery, this is how it was scored. Matty Fung gets a stolen base to second. And no, Bryce, who came in? Bryce Hampton gets a stolen base of home.
That would make sense, yeah, okay. So some warming up going on in the bullpen. That is number 28, Nathan Unick from Estevan, Saskatchewan, getting his arm loose. Might be coming into this game sooner than later.
Bryce Turner will step in now to face Sparrowhawk, who's run into a little bit of some trouble. 79 pitches on the night so far. And with the warm-up going on, this will probably be his last batter, if not his last inning for sure. Throw over to first to keep Bachman from straying too far off the bag.
You know, Cam Sparrowhawk, you know, he had a pretty solid start to this game. Kid from Regina, Saskatchewan, just this inning just starting to get away on him a little bit. Gave up 1 run in the first, 1 in the second, shut the door in the third, before then, you know, being up 2 out and giving up 3 runs. Not himself, obviously. It wasn't him that gave up all 3 of those runs, but
it was a team effort.
It was a team effort.
Yeah.
Goes to University of the Fraser Valley.
2-1 count on Bryce Turner. And he sends this sky high. Is that going to get out of play? And it does. Off the dugout and 1 hop into somebody's hand. Oh no, it went. Galvin, it's near your truck there. I know you can't get out there to catch it. He says he could, but the show would go off the rails. Well, too late for that. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
We did that in the first inning. You got it. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. And another sky-high shot into foul territory. And the second baseman, Wallachek, is underneath it, and he makes the grab, brings the inning to a close, but not before the Gulls plate 3 more runs and have a New pitcher for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Taking over from Kai Rempel is number 41, Tyler Hrin.
Kid from Denver, Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what were you saying, Jim?
Nothing.
I just cut you off. I
That's
apologize.
okay.
I do that a lot.
A good job by Kai Rempel tonight. 1 run on 2 base hits, and he had 4 strikeouts in 4 innings of work. And he was given very short notice that he was going to come in and pitch because Dylan Mittner was the starter scheduled, and something went wrong with his eye. And Kai Rempel says, I got this. Give me the ball.
Yep.
And now he's given the ball over to Tyler Hrin, as you mentioned, the left-hander from Denver, Colorado. And first pitch swinging there is Andrew Nevis. And a ground ball to second, and 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, some good support from his defense behind him as Jaden Flores grounds this well and makes a dart over to Bryce Turner.
This will bring up the designated hitter, Jackson Martin, who struck out back in the second, facing Kai Rempel. So far, things are falling in place for the Gulls as they return from, I don't want to say a disastrous road trip, but I guess anytime you win 1 out of 6 games,
Yeah, it's not pretty.
That's not pretty.
No.
But, they were in a couple of them, and, they lost the last one 4-3. That could have gone either way. They lost, I think, to Saskatoon 8-7 in one game.
8-6.
8-6, yeah. Okay. So,
8-6, 14-7. I mean, they started the road trip good in Brooks. They won 9-7 against Brooks on the Sunday. And then, as you mentioned, we went to Saskatoon, lost 8-6, 14-7. They won against Weyburn, but then the very next night lost to Weyburn 10-4. And then the Regina game on that Saturday got postponed to be a doubleheader on the Sunday afternoon due to a lot of rain. And oh my goodness, I feel bad for all those Texas boys on our team because they are probably thinking to themselves, man, when is this weather going to smarten up? As there's a strikeout for first one of the night for Tyler Hrin.
Yeah, they've come here and they see hail, and then they go to Saskatchewan and get pounded with rain and thinking, wait a minute. What? We came here, why? Because we have the lake and we don't pay sales tax. That's why.
But it did look like the Gulls had a close, really close second match on Sunday against Regina, only losing 4-3 after the first game went 8-0. Mm-hmm. They just fell short by 1 run in that second game of the doubleheader.
So, it's finding your way, as they say. 1-1 the count here on the second baseman, Ben Wallachek. 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning. And Wallachek lays down a pretty good bunt, and Tyler Hrin is not going to be able to make a play. That was about as perfect a bunt as you can make with a left-handed pitcher on the mound. And Tyler Hrin, of course, he got it, but he had no play after that.
Yeah, that was a perfect bunt. I mean, even that throw was coming a little inside on the batter, and it still managed to be turned perfectly down the line. And Hrin makes the slide, tried to turn around, but kind of just got caught in mid-slide, I think, and there was just really no play on that one.
Wallachek's got a pretty good lead over there.
Wow. He is really in. That's what I like to call the Spider-Man pose. He is really down there and flexible. Let's take a look how he can do it again here for us.
There he goes.
Oh, no, he's going to just get a little loosey-goosey here.
Okay. Oh, and a throw over.
Nice throw. Just got back in time, as you saw it on your screen, folks, back at home.
And there's the thing with a left-handed pitcher. He's looking right at you.
Oh, here he goes. Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
Oh,
that almost looked like a balk. That was... that left foot kind of came towards home plate, didn't it? Oops.
That was close.
But no call there. So
let's take a look at this play here.
Where's his left foot? Or his right foot, I should. Just kind of half-hearted towards home plate.
It was his head that kind of gave a last little turn towards the home plate that might have tried to fool.
There were some things going on there.
Thomas Soto.
Good job on the replay, guys. Thank you. 0-2 the count on the leadoff hitter, Thomas Soto, top of the order, with 2 out here and a base runner, Wallachek. over at first. And Rin missing with that off-speed pitch. 1-2 the count now. 5-1 Gulls lead it. Top half of the 5th inning. WCBL baseball for you.
So I saw Tyler Harim before he loaded up. He gave a quick little fake juke with his left leg back to the mound to make it look like he was going to throw to first. And there goes.
Oh, and Cam McLeod was all ready to throw, and it just came right out of his glove.
And Wallachek still trying to play a little cat and mouse as he gets to second safely. He has a little smile and laugh with Flores as you take a look at him, get a really good lead here and jump as we take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay, and then he tries to fake like he's going to go to third. Just it's all about a little bit of mind games out there.
And no harm, no foul on the stolen base as Thomas Soto goes down swinging. No runs on one base hit. The Strand one base runner, and we are through 4.5. Gulls coming to bat. New pitcher in for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. That is Nathan Yunick. And he's just not too far from Moose Jaw. You say Estevan, Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan, good old Estevan boy. It's from close to where my family grew up. Not far from Carlisle, Saskatchewan. Anybody from Estevan knows exactly where that is.
I do.
Shout out to everybody out in the Estevan, Carlisle area.
I worked at FSL Radio in Weyburn.
Nice. Ooh, Weyburn. Yeah. Yeah.
That was decades ago.
Fun fact, my dad's actually currently out in Carlisle, Saskatchewan right now.
There you go. Okay.
Visiting some of my uncles.
1-1 the count on Brock Tiarina, who's had a pretty decent night tonight. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. He hit the ball hard both times. That's way outside. So we had Cam Sparrowhawk, 4 innings of work, 5 runs, 7 hits. And he threw a lot of off-speed stuff. Now we got a guy who's up in the 80s, high 80s. So the Gulls are going to have to adjust a little bit. But I think they probably prefer seeing a guy that throws a little bit of heat as opposed to a guy that throws that off-speed stuff, because that can mess you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've heard a few of the batters say, yeah, I prefer the fastball.
You'd prefer one or the other rather than how about a guy that can throw a mix really well? Those ones are the hard ones to hit, I would think. The guys that can change it up quickly. You don't know whether it's coming at you at 90 miles per hour or if it's coming at you at 69 miles per hour. Almost a 30-mile-per-hour difference.
And Tiarina's going to loop this over the shortstop's head for his second base hit of the night. And starts things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning with a bloop single to right. Just enough over the head of Thomas Soto.
Yeah, nice, soft, easy swing, and he's getting a little congratulations from pitcher number 23, Cam Diaz, who we've heard is quite the character on this Gulls roster.
I think one night I said, oh, that's Junior Garcia over at first. And one of the guys corrected me. He said, no. He said, only Diaz goes over there. Okay.
Well, for a second there, before I saw the number, I kind of almost was getting a little bit of a vibe that could have been our friend Leroy Taveras.
Yeah.
Over at first. Oh, that goes behind the head of Jaden Flores, so that's going to be an easy stolen base for Brock Tiarina.
I think they're probably going to rule that a wild pitch.
Yeah, wild pitch for sure.
But he gets the base anyway, wild pitch or not. He's over at second in scoring position with nobody out, leading things off here in the 5th inning. Jaden Flores, Cam McLeod is the batter on deck. And that misses outside to count 3-0.
Now, pretty good crowd here on a Tuesday night, and if you're wondering why it sounds a little louder than normal, that's because our good friends at Service Credit Union have given everybody in attendance some free clappers.
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 Clap on. I knew it was going to happen. Don't do that, the lights will go off.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Do they still do that? As Flores takes the walk.
Thought I'd try.
Now a little meeting here as Nieves goes out to talk to his pitcher, who has faced 2 batters and had a bloop base hit, a wild pitch, and now a walk. So yeah, that would be a good time to go out and talk to him.
And getting some gummies over at first is Flores from Cameron Diaz. Warming up in the bullpen right now for Moose Jaw. That's number 14. And Abe Alberg goes to Colorado Mesa College.
Cam McLeod 0 for 2 on the night. He's got a couple of base runners, though, in front of him. So he's looking like he's going to bunt. And he lays down a really good bunt, advancing both base runners, which was the plan. So now you've got guys in second and third with 1 down.
Yeah, and he placed it down the third baseline, and a good heads-up play there by Eduardo Signs, sorry, to
Signs,
get
everywhere
there.
signs.
Everywhere signs.
Locking up the scenery, breaking my mind.
Yeah.
Thanks, Calvin. He's just finished the
Just
chorus
finished
for me.
it for you. There you go.
Thank you. 5-man electrical band, which I believe are Canadian. I could be wrong. 0-1 to count on Bryce Hampton, with runners in scoring position, and a 5-1 lead over the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Their first trip to Sylvan Lake today, or this year, and everybody is safe, and some confusion on behalf of the third baseman, Eduardo Signs, as he turned to see Brock Tiarina well off the bag and had thoughts of going there, and then, there's nobody to throw to, and then he has to hustle and hurry his throw over to first, and he airmails it almost. Jackson Yeager keeping it in the park.
Well, I think that was an unintentional trick play there by Brock Tiarina over at third. I mean, he was really ready to go try to score a run before he realized, I got to get back to my base. That's coming right to third. And it was just enough to as you mentioned, throw off signs. And it worked for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They loaded the bases now.
I just got confirmation. 5-man electrical band who sang the song Signs. Ottawa, Ontario.
There you go.
Our nation's capital.
Nice. Good call.
Well, there's a lot of information up here. I just can't access it all the time.
Need a password.
Oh,
Couple
right.
passcodes to get in there.
Oh, Calvin Bellows is going down the rabbit hole of the 5-man electrical band.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Gotta love the internet.
He said the song Signs got to as high as number 3 on the Billboard charts. It's a good song.
An oldie but a goodie.
5-man's got quite a few songs out there that you go, oh, they sang that? Oh, they sang that?
I love bands like that, don't you? When you go to, especially if you go to a concert, not expecting to know some of the songs that they sing, and you're like, oh, they sing this one too? Well, that's a lazy swing through for Rowan O'Connor, unfortunately for him. Now evens the count at 2-2. 3 hits for Moose Jaw, 8 for the Gulls in this 5-1 Gulls lead. Bottom of 5, bases loaded for Rowan O'Connor.
That misses inside. The count now full.
Matty Fung on deck too, and you know he's very excited to keep this inning alive if he can.
And that bounces in the turf, and that is going to draw another run in as Tiarina will cross the plate on that walk. So an RBI for Rowan O'Connor on the walk. And that'll bring up, as you mentioned, Matty Fung, who probably, that stolen base is probably one of the slowest stolen bases he's ever had in his career. Where he delayed about, what, 15 feet off of the bag and just waited and drew the run in from third base as Bryce Hampton came in to score on that play.
Well, he's only got a couple RBIs coming into tonight's game.
He's got one more now.
And you know that, yeah, he's going to want a few more maybe here, especially.
Bases loaded, one down, bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that one was, I don't know. I don't know, Jim. That's a close one. It's quite a bit outside, but Rob Allen thought otherwise.
Top of the order, Noah Connings on deck as Fung sends this out into left field, and Signs makes a really good play. And because of the play, though, now they get the run from Jaden Flores, some good heads up there, but they get Bryce Hampton over at third base. I'm trying to catch all this, and we'll get up to that. We'll get up to speed. Anyways, it is 7-1 Gulls lead it. Top of the 6th coming up. There's your new pitcher for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That is the newcomer, and I mean new, Reese Usselman. He takes over from Tyler Harin, who took over from Kai Rempel. So far, the Gulls pitching has held the Miller Express in check on just 1 run, 3 hits. And first pitch swinging there is Jackson Yeager. And he gets that over into foul territory where Bryce Hampton, or Bryce Turner, I should say, gets a glove on it, and 1 pitch, 1 out. That's kind of how you like to start.
I was just going to say, there's got to be no better feeling for the pitcher in Reese Usselman than, you know, throwing an 89-mile-per-hour fastball down and inside, and it popping straight up to your first baseman for an easy out. No way to kind of get yourself settled into this game, and then you do that.
And then you do that. Okay. Maybe he's a little amped up pitching in front of this Sylvan Lake crowd for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there is that effect.
Don't blame him.
There definitely is that effect.
6'3" left-hander from Langley, BC, and catches DeGrazia in the foot. And Usselman going to Hutchinson Community College.
He paints the outside corner to start things off for the catcher, Andrew Nieves. 1 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. Sylvan Lake with a 7-1 lead over Moose Jaw. And I haven't called them the Warriors once yet.
That's, you know what?
That's a win.
I don't think I have either.
No.
So I'm pretty happy about that.
There we go.
Called other teams' hockey names before. You know,
Yeah.
the Bombers are one that's tricky for me, being in the BCHL.
Yep. So, a little, well, maybe it's not. I'm sure it is a well-known fact, or maybe it isn't. Do you know what one of the famous things about Moose Jaw is? One of the real attractions?
They're the Army.
Well, I mean,
Canadian forces?
They do have the you know, the Air Force out there.
Yeah, the Air Force. Okay.
This is more on a touristy
Their
kind
base.
of thing.
No, I'm stumped.
Okay, I'll fill you in a minute. 1-2 the count here on Nieves.
I mean, I could Google it and try to.
No, don't Google. Use your head. Well, or no, if you don't know, you don't know.
No, I don't know.
So, and not a lot of people do know this, but Al Capone, you ever heard that name?
Yep.
Yeah. Used to smuggle Canadian Club whiskey across the border, and he used tunnels underneath the streets of Moose Jaw.
Yes, the tunnels under Moose Jaw. That's right. Yeah. I now remember that.
Scarface.
Now those tunnels, they're still there, right?
They are still there, and people do go through them. I'm not sure where that missed, but I guess it did. 2-2 the count on Nieves. So there's a little history lesson.
That must be why Saskatchewan's just known for their ability to party, as that is drilled to left shallow field, and that's going to be gobbled up by Rowan O'Connor for the second out.
I think most Saskatchewan people are, I wouldn't say most, I'm just guessing. The people that I know are beer drinkers.
Yeah, they
and
are.
They drink Pilsner.
Yeah.
And
I know quite a few whiskey drinkers from Saskatchewan as well.
Their football team has trouble counting to 12.
Yes, they do.
I can always, I was at that
friend,
game.
Our friend that does our paycheck, we got to be careful what we say on the air,
Yeah,
because the lady that does our paychecks kind of has a little bit of a soft spot for those Regina. That Regina football team, the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
They used to be called the Regina Roughriders.
I know. I was like, I almost called them Regina Roughriders there for a second.
And outside on that pitch to Jackson Martin, the designated hitter tonight for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Reese Usselman, the pitcher on the mound. The third pitcher of the night for the Gulls. And maybe the last pitcher of the night. I don't know.
You know, and then that one misses, but if it was on the other side of the plate, it would have been probably maybe called a strike. So I don't know how that missed.
2 down with a runner over at first. And that misses outside. 3-1 the count now. As Usselman, like I say, you know, maybe a little adrenaline going through, you know, looking around, seeing the crowd, knowing he's coming in. He wants to perform, you know that.
Just throw hard.
That misses down low, so he's allowed 2 base runners, one by hitting them, one by walking them. So out of the 4 guys he's faced, he's 50%. And this will bring up the second baseman, Ben Wallachek.
Well, this last out is so important for Usselman. I mean, just anything at this point to just move on to another inning might calm him down a little bit, reset in the next inning, and then he should be good, you would think, coming back. But just I think it's just getting through this first inning of work for him that's going to be the biggest challenge. Just kind of settle in, especially in front of a crowd that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
A team that you're not quite used to. You want to obviously make a name for yourself in your opening night.
He's coming inside on Wallachek and misses with that one. Evens the count at 1-1. Base runners on first and second with 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. 7-1, Gulls lead it over Moose Jaw. An off-speed pitch there from Usselman. Gets a called strike, and then Wallachek checks with home plate umpire Rob Allen. You sure about that? Yeah, okay, good. Nods his head. We're good.
I mean, I can kind of see where Wallachuk's coming from. That was maybe a little upstairs.
You know, it'd be funny if you turn around like that and ask the umpire, was that a strike? And the umpire say, you know what? On second thought, no, it wasn't. I wonder how, well, the batter would be happy. The catcher would go, well, wait a minute. You can't change your mind.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't, but I can't change it now. Or even if they admitted to it and still don't change the call.
It really wasn't a strike, but I just felt like calling one. Okay, my
yeah.
right hand was getting sore, and kind of stiffening up on me.
That'd almost make you more frustrated as a batter, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so. So wait a minute, the umpire's flipping a coin back there.
Is this reverse psychology are you working on me right now?
Well, umps, they like to have fun too, you know. 1-2 the count, and that missing up high evens the count at 2-2. Usselman trying to get out of this inning. The 2 base runners are there due to him, so he's trying to work his way out of this jam that he created. And I think he's going to get to it, as this is flied out to Matty Fung in left field, and he puts a glove on it and helps his pitcher out and brings the inning to a close. No runs on no hits, 2 men left on base. 6.5 innings in the books. Gulls.
New pitcher on the mound for Moose Jaw Miller Express, and that is Jet Hutchinson from Regina, Saskatchewan. Goes to Mayville State University. And Hutchinson only with 1 game under his belt so far. He only has 1 inning pitched, but in that inning, he's got a strikeout. He's got a hit that he gave up, a run, and an earned run. He's got kind of ones all across the board except for his ERA.
Oops. Bring that up.
Yeah.
Brock Tiarina leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Brock with a RBI single back in the 1st. And then he had a double in the 5th, came around and scored. So he's 2 for 3 on the night. And he sends this down towards the Gulls bullpen.
And a unique delivery from this new pitcher in Hutchinson.
Yeah, a little sidearm, kind of submarine almost.
Yeah.
And he's way over on the right-hand side of the rubber to get that sweeping throw across. One and 2 the count on Tiarina. On deck is the shortstop or the second baseman Jaden Flores, who's 0 for 3 or 0 for 2, I should say, with a walk. But he did score a run on that walk. And Tiarina sends this into the bullpen.
Be interesting to kind of get a batter's perspective when you see a ball coming off a release like that. Does that really throw a guy off? And for a pitcher, how do you learn this? You know, like what in your right mind makes you think of, you know what, I'm going to start throwing balls like this. I'm going to come right down to the ground and then sidearm it.
Well,
it's got to be a tough pitch to perfect.
I think sometimes I know in the bigger leagues, sometimes it's an arm issue, and they can't
go
overhand,
over the shoulder. Their shoulder doesn't rotate as well.
They might have had surgery or something
Yeah.
that it limits their arm, and so they adapt.
Well, that would make sense.
Or
but
they think it's a funky delivery, and they like to do it. And this is just floated out to shortstop. Thomas Soto makes the catch.
I mean, he really doesn't throw very hard. Only 64 miles per hour on that last curveball, but it's got some movement, and I think that's kind of his specialty with that kind of release.
Yeah. So, but anyway, whatever works for you, right?
Oh, of course.
I mean, you put it across the plate, and you hope that they don't hit it out of the park.
Yeah. Well, I almost wonder too. You know, this age, I mean, I could be wrong, which I have been a lot of times, but at this age, you wouldn't think it'd be an injury problem for him pitching like this. But again, any pitcher could go through an injury at any time in their career, and could have happened at a young age, could have not even been baseball related for all we know.
Well, you look at some photos of guys just as they release the ball, the torque on their arm and on their elbow and their shoulder, their wrist, like, I mean, that's a lot of I don't think your arm's supposed to go that way. But yet they make it work. 0-2 the count on Jaden Flores, by the way.
Yeah, that one was 57 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like batting practice.
Completely different for these guys.
And Flores grounds this down to third. And Signs makes the throw across the diamond. And 2 batters, 2 outs for the new pitcher, Hutchinson. And that'll bring up Cam McLeod, who's hit the ball hard, but he's hit it right at people all the time. He's calling a good game behind the plate.
Yeah, he sure is. A couple new pitchers that have come in, a few now, as he's seeing Reese Usselman, his 3rd pitcher of work.
We got some action in the Gulls bullpen. Guys are loosening up, so Usselman probably, well, maybe not done for the night. I don't know. They might give him another inning. Those guys aren't exactly speeding up the warm-up.
No, one guy might be just practicing his sword swings over there. I don't know what he's doing. That's our, that's number 35, and I'm going to try to get a name on this guy here, and that's, because before 35 was Junior Garcia.
Yeah, that's what they're saying it is, but it isn't. I don't think it is junior. Well, it might be junior. I don't know.
It could be junior. Just
Maybe
the
he's playing at the
catcher
catch.
just kind of hanging out.
This is skied into foul territory down the left field line, and the shortstop Soto slides over, makes the grab, and brings the inning to a close. So a good inning for the new pitcher Hutchinson as he sidearms his way to a 3-up, 3-down inning.
So we have a pinch hitter coming in, as this is number 14 hitting for Bryce Hampton, and that is number 14, Jimmy Pelchier from Montreal, Quebec. Now, just a little bit of a heads up, I did see Hampton go over to the trainer's table, and Rob Mank is currently working on number 5, Bryce Hampton. So you don't like to see that.
Nope.
Hopefully he's going to be okay, and he's just going to get a little adjustment. And of course, magic hands, Rob Manka there on your screen, doing his magic as he always does on Mr. Hampton. So that's going to allow Pelchier to kind of get a little chance and get a little action in this game. And why not lead things off with a base hit to left field to get things going. Now,
I heard this when I was in the dressing room during that rain delay that we had a couple of weeks back. And I'm asking guys, how do you get the, nice base hit there by Jimmy Pelchier? How do you get these nicknames go? So Jimmy isn't his first name.
No.
His first name is Charles.
Yeah.
But he went to a French-speaking school in Montreal, and apparently the teachers had difficulty saying his first name Charles, so they called him Jimmy. I don't know why they just chose that name, but I mean it's a great name. If you're going to go
got some baseball
Charles
name to
or
it.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of got a little bit more baseball name to it with Jimmy. I like it.
I'm a little
smooth.
I'm a little biased on the name choice, but Jimmy, I'm good with that.
That's fair.
And that's ripped by Rowan O'Connor out into left field. And I think they've seen enough of the sidewinder, Mr. Hutchison, to say, okay, let's just measure this guy up. And O'Connor does exactly that, as that comes right into his wheelhouse, and he just nails it to left field. So runners on second and third with nobody out. Matty Fung will come in with his parents in the crowd that we haven't found yet, although I do see somebody that kind of looks like it might be Rob, but I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. So.
Well, you got to love just the idea of how the Gulls are playing tonight, and really there couldn't be a better gift for a guy that might be just celebrating his birthday today. And that is the head coach of the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Jason Chatwood, celebrating his birthday here tonight. As Matty Fung lifts this into deep center right field.
And that's going to score a run.
It's going to be another RBI on the night for Matty Fung. So that is, for Matty Fung, that is 3 RBIs on the night.
I got him at 2.
I had him at a sacrifice flyout that had him at third baseman that caught the foul ball, and then it ended up scoring or not foul ball, sorry, down the third baseline, scored a run back in the 5th inning.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. That misses outside as Noah Connings steps in to face Hutchison. Rowan O'Connor, the base runner, over at third. As the Gulls add to their lead here in this inning with 8 runs on the board now, and this will make it 9. As O'Connor scores, and Connings gets himself an RBI. Nice easy play there for the second baseman, Ben Wallachek. That'll bring up Brooks Bachman. I always want to say Turner Overdrive right after I say that. It's the Winnipegger in me. A called strike there on Bachman with 2 down. Base runner over at nowhere. A base runner nowhere.
Nowhere to be found.
Because he came in. So 0-2 the count on Bachman. 9-1 Gulls lead it. 9 seems to be their magic number when they break out of a slump. They put 9 runs up back to back against Brooks, did they not? I think they did. Back when they were at home.
They sure did, yeah.
Long time ago.
9-3, then 9-7.
The 0-2 pitch. And that's sent out to shallow left field, and the left fielder, Tanner DeGrazia, makes the catch, brings the inning to a close. And the Gulls add.
Sylvan Lake Gulls 3 outs away from picking up their 11th win of the season and bringing themselves back to within 500 with this guy, new pitcher on the mound. He's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, if you will. Utility player, number 38, Simon Baker. Not necessarily one that would come out of the bullpen, but tonight he's getting his chance, and he's going to see what he's got for an arm. So far, what we've seen, it's hard.
Well, when he hits the glove, he's had a couple that have hit the backstop, but he told me, he says, I saw him in the box scores when we were on a away game, and I said, did you pitch 2 innings? He goes, yeah. He says, I'd like to be a pitcher. So he right field, left field, probably could play center field, can steal, can hit home runs, because we saw him hit a massive home run. And now he pitches. Who does that sound like? Some guy in the Dodgers organization?
Or a former Sylvan Lake Gull, number 3, Kyle Fralick.
Oh, there's that guy too.
That guy? That's kind of who I thought you were originally kind of getting at, but no, Dodgers, Sohei.
No, I was moving
Sohei
up
Ohtani, giving him a pretty big compliment, that's for sure.
Well, I'm just thinking, in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 95 on the gun there.
Yeah, there's 95. Whoops.
I mean, his glove isn't the only thing that's red hot.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta give the kid compliments on that glove. That is.
Oh yeah.
That is
That's
flashy.
stylish.
That is flashy.
You betcha. 93 there to Eduardo Sainz, and Jackson Yeager and Tanner DeGrazia. I think they all want a shot at Simon Baker.
Absolutely, they do.
Why not?
I did notice, though, like before Baker started warming up with his pitches, he did have a good conversation with Cam McLeod, and I'm wondering if he told Cam McLeod, put the finger down most of the time.
Yeah.
Because that's really
what
I got.
95 on the
That's
on the
my
radar
specialty with the 95 mile per hour fastball.
Now Simon's got to be about 6'4".
I'll tell you right now, he is 6'4", 205 pounds.
Yeah, that's and that ball's coming downhill at you at a pretty good rate. But there's a good base hit by Eduardo Sainz as he just measured that up and hit the off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a base hit there for Sainz.
Maybe don't slow things down for these guys.
Okay, Cam, just one finger, that's it.
Yeah,
Fastball.
one finger might be your best friend right now.
But I know if he wants to be a pitcher, he's got to have more than just a fastball because he'll get killed if that's all he throws.
Yeah, unless you're just throwing maybe one inning.
Oh, 96 on that one.
Okay, yeah, pretty good.
All right.
My arm hurts watching this right now. I don't know. That is crazy to me. That one was coming right for you.
I was moving my head and I just put my
just in case,
put my hand out.
In case there's a hole in the mesh.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, fair. I trust it.
Hey, listen, I don't trust anything anymore.
Well, they say you're wiser.
I've been standing to the right of a tee box, and a right-handed golfer is teeing off, and he hit me.
Well, there's your first problem. You're golfing with a righty.
Well, yeah, that's why I kind of limit that. But he hit me. It didn't hit me hard,
was
but
that recently?
Oh no, that was a few years back.
Oh, okay.
It was a guy I worked with, and he hit me with the ball. And I went, dude, I'm standing directly to your right. How can you do that?
Yeah.
I should be paying attention, and now I do every time I stand near the
That's
tee
why they
box.
say. Yeah, that's why they say stay behind the swinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1-2 the count on Jackson Yeager. Simon Baker's showing a variety of pitches, a variety of speeds as well, anywhere from 82 to 96. And that's 95, and that sits down Jackson Yeager. No surprise there. That was just on the outside corner at 96 or 95. Look at that. Boom. Yeah.
Wow. Well, McLeod's doing a good job catching behind the plate with that heat coming down the line at him.
I'm sure they like that. They know where it's coming from. They know how fast it's going to get there. He's popping the glove pretty good. But his control maybe is a bit of an issue at this point.
That will come with help and practice and all that.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more it's going to get a little better for you. And it's doing pretty good.
His teammates are watching him pretty closely.
Yeah.
Or at least most of them are.
I think, all focus is on him right now.
They just say, hey, what can the right fielder do? Let's see what you got. He got 94 is what he got. Tanner DeGracia, 0 for 2 and a walk on his evening.
Well, I think if you're the batter on deck in Andrew Nyes, then you're probably paying a lot of attention right now to how this is coming down.
I think you go up guessing fastball. I mean, really fastball.
Yeah. Like you're already swinging as soon as that windup is coming.
Not a lot of, mind you, if he can get a good off-speed pitch and start hitting strike zones with that. And this is sent out into right field as Bryce Hampton makes it, or is that Aiden McCarris?
That's Jimmy Pelchier.
Oh, that's Jimmy Pelchier.
Or
that's
no,
right.
sorry.
No?
With that flow, that is number 24, not 14. That is McCarris. Yep.
There we
Good
go.
call.
Thank you.
I just know from the flow, that's got to be the one and only Okotoks native, Aiden McCarris.
So we're down to 2 outs. The last out for the Miller Express is, and excuse me, I'm going to cough here. And there we go. Don't want to do that in anybody's ear. Andrew Nieves, 0 for 3 on the night. And he's got to try and break the slump against the guy throwing 90 plus. Okay.
I mean, I don't think, other than when he's tried to, he's thrown under a 90-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah.
Well, here comes the slow clap. Looking just to end things here. One more pitch could do it. 0-2. 2 away. Gulls looking for number 11 on the year. And he's got it.
Got him. A good job there by Simon Baker to come in and strike out 2 of the batters to bring the inning to a close and the game to a close. Nice swing, nice pitch, and nice ending for Sylvan Lake in that regard.
Absolutely. Incredible game it was for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Great evening, great time for everybody involved. The clappers were there, and Sully's got the wave with the flag at home plate, celebrating 500 on the regular season for the Gulls. And it's, you know, one of those nights where things were going well for everybody involved. I mean, the defense was there, the offense was there, the pitching was there, and that's one thing I think we haven't really seen a lot yet this year. The pitching in full motion, no matter who you put on that mound, you were getting solid work out of everybody involved. But at the end of the day, too, it's a matter of how to start a game. And, you know, that pitcher that starts the game for you can really turn the ball and the momentum in a lot of positive ways for you. And I know our very own in-game host, Jared Waldo, waiting for the last guy in the high five right now, standing by with our player of the game.
There we go.
Run the Bases is powered by Equus. We'll start that in just a moment. A Gulls win is brought to you by Central Alberta Co-op. Let's meet the player of the game. Here's your game day host, Jared Waldo.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Joining us down here, your EG Auctions player of the game. Tonight's starting pitcher from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Mr. Kai Rempel. Kai, first off, congrats on the big win. Just talk about the performance and the big win tonight.
Just let it play out to my defense. You know, they made some great plays. I know Rowan had that huge double play for me, and you know, our bats were hot. We were swinging it well. You know, put a lot of pressure on them, and we jumped out early, and you know, just go out there, throw strikes, and compete for my team.
Yeah, you know what? It seemed like a lot of guys had great nights tonight. I know Matty had a great night. You mentioned Rowan. Biggs comes in there at the end. Just talk about that performance, when it's how much easier it is as a pitcher when you're getting like the defense and the bats and everything else.
It's so much easier. You know, you can rely on your team. You know, you don't have to be perfect up there. You can just go out and, you know, have fun, enjoy yourself up there, and just leave it all to your team because you know they have your back.
Well, why don't we do this all again tomorrow night? How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, your EG Auctions player of the game, Kai Rempel.
There you have it, Kai Rempel, player of the game. And talk about a guy that came back after having a little bit of a tough outing last time here at Gulls Field. The very last game, 10 days ago, he comes in the ninth inning. Things were getting a little carried away on Kai Rempel. The batters had him figured out. He just couldn't find a way to get the last out. Then he finally did. And then he comes into tonight, not expected to even play. Probably not even expected, definitely not expected to start this game. And he comes in and, yeah, maybe a little bit of a rocky start, but then he really settles in and gets things done. I'll get your mic on there for
Well,
me.
I wasn't going to say anything. You were doing fine.
Perfect.
Okay, good. Hey,
No,
carry on.
I'm done.
No, you summed it up perfectly. And I remember talking to Kai at the end of that game, and he was so down on himself. He was so disappointed with his effort. And I said, no, you'll get another chance, and you'll come back. And look what he did tonight. You know, just an awesome performance by the young man from Calgary. I'm very happy for him.
And a great response for the Sylvan Lake Gulls coming off the road trip and only getting that one win in the road trip. They come home and they're looking to get some momentum going in the right direction. Turn the season around a little bit. And tonight, like I said, just got everything done right. Started on the mound, took advantage of an error. Matty Fung, he gets off the schneid. But how about Rowan O'Connor at shortstop tonight? He was making some incredible plays, as was Thomas Soto for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. I mean, Candy was going around, the vibes were high, the sun was hot, that throw was hot, the crowd was enjoying all of it. You know, it was just a perfect way to start